What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the second part of our amazing breakdown of the entire WWE roster. Who do we prefer as faces? Who do we like as heels? Part one covered all of the Raw superstars, and now we're on to SmackDown. Of course, as you know, I am not alone. I've got the one, the only, Cody Onidi 316.
What's going on? It's not Monday Night Raw this time, but you did ask, who do we like better as faces and heels, which did get us some sort of backlash last time with the Raw ones that we did.
Yeah.
Not anyone in particular, Morgan, but you know how it goes. And we're going to see what we can do today. Let's see if we can just make you all happy today. Maybe you'll agree with everything we say. Maybe you'll disagree with everything we say. Looking at some of this roster, I didn't know some of these people were still employed by the WWE.
I know. Never mind still employed, still wrestling with some of them. I was a bit taken aback, no doubt about it. But you're right on the money. And unfortunately, I don't say we missed anyone, but there was someone, I guess we could say, overlooked, because I had previously assumed, I guess wrongly, I couldn't see him. And that's John Cena, the current Intercontinental Champion. He won it against Dirty Dom this Monday. We're breaking right into Cena because people said, hey, you forgot Cena last time. And I said, well, I thought he was on the SmackDown roster. I thought that he was a SmackDown star.
Included him with the Raw guys, but
I don't feel so, because he was a SmackDown star.
He was actually, I think, listed as SmackDown. I think overall, and he's been listed as SmackDown for a few years now. Even when he's been part time, like anytime he shows back up, he's always on SmackDown.
Yes,
like he's like ever since they brought back the brand split, for the most part, majority of his run since 2016 to now has been SmackDown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but. Most of it has been SmackDown.
Yeah, it's been SmackDown through and through. So that's what made me assume that he would be there. Though,
would you consider him more of a SmackDown guy or Raw guy his entire history?
Ooh.
Because he started off on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But from 2016 to now, he was majority SmackDown.
Even before then, I mean...
2005 to...
Think about where, like, People Power, The Authority, all he played into there up until the ascension of Daniel Bryan. And then Cena was kind of away after WrestleMania 30. And then 31, he came out and did that quick little thing with The Rock, right? Where they took on the Wyatts or whatever. Wasn't that something that year?
Yeah.
Or no, 32. Sorry, that was 32. Yeah.
And after that, he was on SmackDown.
Yeah, and he was on SmackDown heading into stuff with AJ Styles and Dean and everything that we got from there. So I feel like, personally, to me, he's a Raw star, but I see the argument of him being classified more on the end of SmackDown. Essentially, I think he's served more time on the SmackDown roster. I even subconsciously just assumed he was still a listed SmackDown star.
Yeah, I think he served most, like a lot of his career on SmackDown, but the memorable stuff is on Raw, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't hate the heel turn we got this year. I'm kicking right into it because I genuinely don't. I'm disappointed because it happened during John's retirement year when people finally did not want to boo him. People realized, oh my God, he's like one of the true last greats. And I'm not just talking goat and throwing around names. I'm talking about star power, the ability to sell out full, arenas and stadiums, and that magnitude, that level. They don't have many in the same stratosphere as a John Cena.
Think of now is Roman, but he's not even on Cena level.
No, Roman is known and well liked, but he's still not that Cena guy. And part of what made Cena Cena.
People aren't wrestling fans. People know, I've heard of Roman, but everyone hears of John Cena.
Everyone knows John. He's been an actor. He's been in Hollywood. He's done it all, and that's the thing. He hasn't failed anywhere. He's not like The Rock, where he's put out these stinkers, and maybe it's not the best movie in the world, but things have been consistently good. When John's there, it's not going to be a bad time. You're going to enjoy yourself. It could be predictable. John got very formulaic after a while, but here's the thing. I prefer him as a face, and I'll get into all the reasons why, but they gave us the biggest what if this year, and I respect them for it. It was a big dare to risk turning John Cena heel at all, period.
Yep.
The Make-A-Wish, the money, but they if they had a plan, if they had a new entrance, new merch, him saying you guys don't deserve it was the biggest cop-out in the world. If they went full-fledged with the heel turn, the new theme, the new look, the new attitude, and they really had a story ready for it, it would probably still be the best thing of the year. But sadly, none of it transpired as it was supposed to because besides the moment, that's what it was. John as a heel wasn't bad, but he was an unmotivated heel. He didn't have a purpose. He already accomplished his goal at Mania, which was getting the title in the 17th win. So now he basically said,
when it progressed, he played a better heel, I think.
I somewhat, but his motivations were very unclear. What did he want to do? I want to take this title, I want to take it home, and I want to ruin wrestling.
It shouldn't have been like a you people thing. It should have just been a desperation. He keeps failing to get 17. Which
exactly.
To do things he wouldn't normally do. And that caused the heel turn.
John is such a, to a perfect T, a stand-up guy, does no wrong. And he's had some edginess as a face, but
that heel turn would have been showing, all right, he also has human emotion at the end of the day. And
absolutely. And there was story to it in spades. Think about it. You said it. I said it. The drive to get that belt, to get number 17, to break Flair's record, to cement himself as the legacy.
Because he kept failing.
Yes, he lost the Rumble and then we saw what happens at Elimination Chamber. If he didn't turn heel, but what did we get? Cena, he didn't cheat, but Seth Rollins stomps CM Punk, and Punk came up with that whole ending.
His emotions were different than usual.
Yeah, his motivations, his drive.
He would have usually helped. He would have yelled at Seth Rollins saying, "Oh, come on," and made sure CM Punk was ready for a fair fight. But instead, this time when he just jumped for the advantage, he's like, "All right, let me take advantage of this."
He capitalized in the biggest way possible to secure the title shot in Mania.
The aggression on his face.
Yes.
Like when putting
I wouldn't have turned him heel there. I would have turned him heel at Mania when he didn't beat Cody Rhodes. I would have made him snap.
I would have honestly made him fail the Elimination Chamber as well, which would have then caused some sort of... I would have had Punk maybe win the Chamber, and then that would have been a perfect way to... Because then he could have attacked Cody Rhodes, and then Cody Rhodes would want a piece of Cena too.
Yep.
And could have caused
so many better ways, so many what ifs. But I still respect the fact that, hey, they tried. And John, being a good soldier, went along with it. But John is the ultimate babyface, and not because of his reluctance to turn heel, but it was never needed of him. They didn't need at any point John Cena to turn heel to sell business. They didn't. They had other people to go against Cena, even if he tore through everyone as Superman John Cena, where he was completely indestructible, where Randy Orton handcuffs him to the turnbuckle post and they beat him with kendo sticks and whip him with belts and beat him down, and he makes Randy tap in 3 seconds. Super Cena was a real thing. But it was also, he was the biggest face we had. And he was Mr.
Everyone
Reliable.
likes Super Cena now. Everyone wants to see Super Cena now. People hated Super Cena back in the day.
Yeah, because now we're not getting it anymore. We've got 2 dates, remaining besides this Monday's Raw. And it's a bit of a bittersweet thing.
Super Cena moment.
Yeah, him beating Dom after, getting a 619 and the frog splash. Not even a chance to kick out. He rolls out of it and puts him into an AA to win the IC title. What a moment. And the crowd ate it up. It was perfect in Boston. Now, we're still hearing San Diego may not get Dom and Ray anyways. That's sad. But they're recovering from what they faltered with Cena. And the IC title is a make good because now he went for a different legacy that he wasn't probably going to accomplish beforehand. But John, to me, is the penultimate, the biggest example of babyface ever. Not even Hogan, I feel like, truly gets to the level that Cena was on, because Hogan eventually did the heel thing for so long and, changed his ways, and Hollywood Hogan and all. John was John all the way through to the very end until he followed blindly into a story they weren't prepared for. That's really how it feels.
I would agree, but if we're gonna talk about all of his heel run, though, then you'll have to go originally when he did Thugonomics, because he was a heel.
Yeah,
there.
and he was a
People
heel,
don't know
but
that, but
people were, but he was a heel, but he was presented in a way that it was edgy, cool, new. So people liked him. The Chain Gang.
he was a cool heel, but he
Yeah.
insulted the crowds that he was in front of, like made fun of their cities and all that.
Yep,
But like,
and it caught on. So we're not going to use the word tweener there, but he was edging himself closer to becoming a fan favorite quickly, and the condescending nature of him tearing down each person's hometown quickly wore out because the cheers were louder than the boos. And John ascended really quick too. I mean, you think about it, he gets the US title next year. He's there and heading into the main event for the title. It happened very quick, that ascension. And you still had a lot of like long-term favorites in the company at that time, like a Shawn Michaels, like Triple H and Undertaker and so on, Ric Flair even. But John, to me, is the ultimate of baby faces, the one that looked at any type of moment, stared it deep into its eyes, and didn't falter or back down. No matter what was put against him, he always tried. And the best thing I want to say about John's face character is that he was always willing to be the butt of the joke. He could make fun of himself, and he didn't care.
Exactly. And other faces have an ego where they can't do that. They want to just look cool and unstoppable, but
I don't see Roman belittling himself and making, zany faces and winking at the camera and doing the little fourth wall breaks and talking to Stu. And I'm going to miss John Cena. I was a person who got so sick of the Cena machine, and it wasn't him. That was the thing. It was the way Vince presented Cena to us. Like you said, the Super Cena-esque, where he could do no wrong. And it was just very formulaic to a point because he was super good. But when they started
when he became a part-timer, like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm kind of miss him."
Yeah, they started to miss him, and he wasn't really hitting as well as he was before. He would come in and get these big reactions, but it wasn't as massive as before because people knew, hey, he's going to be gone again in another day's time. So it's hard to really sink into John when we know he's not staying.
When did he turn, like when did the crowd turn those reactions into all cheers? Because when did he start getting those?
When he came back to face Roman, when he came back at, what was that, TLC or Money in the Bank or whichever before SummerSlam, and he got that gigantic reaction and the people went nuts. And the whole point of the promos he did with him, all I have to do, I don't have to be better than you. I just need 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And out of everybody who could have taken that title off of Roman, it felt like, oh shit, John might be the one. And since then, he's been put into proper positions to be cheered as the ultimate face. And each bit of his booking since then, up until the final year here, he had been inserted into something like the Awesome Miz, with R-Truth, Awesome Truth. He was their third man after Mania. Things like that. Like he would show up and do big things and people would go nuts for it. So they learned how to capitalize on the magic of John Cena. I feel like he's the ultimate good guy, and people are truly seeing like, hey, we're not going to get this type of star power, and that's what makes me question why they hold back on so many others. But for now, I think you and I both agree that John is the ultimate babyface. It was interesting to see him as a heel, but I don't think he even himself believed in being a heel. And that really kind of held this down. It wasn't a bad attempt. It just wasn't fully fleshed out. John did his best with what he was given. He cut every promo impassionedly. He didn't go out there and kind of like roll his eyes and, but he showed emotion. He showed that, his integrity isn't gone. You guys just need to know that he's the greatest and he's leaving with this belt.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the attempt that was made. As much as it failed, at least they showed us what a heel Cena would look like.
Desperation, if he turns heel, it should have just been desperation.
Absolutely. But for now, John is not listed on either roster, but you and I do both agree that it comes down to him being a face.
We said that one time and people came after us.
I know. And as we kick into overdrive here, we're going to start off right at the top. Alba Fire. Someone that we haven't seen a real lot of, and originally, what was it? Kaylee Ray. She was over in NXT UK from Scotland, and she had a really, really long title reign with the NXT UK women's title. I want to say it was like over 600 days. She was like swanton bombing everybody, and she was very like relentless and strong. And then she forms the alliance with Isla Dawn, and they got the women's tag titles from NXT. And basically, she got the Unholy Union, won them in Scotland. Remember, we got that big thing for them. And then she teamed up when Isla Dawn got let go. She teamed up with the Secret Harvest. And she's kind of just a real background player for a lot of it. For as good as she is and as magnetic and enigmatic as she could be, they don't really give her a chance to present her character and what made her great in NXT UK. But knowing all that, I still appreciate her as a heel. She worked great as a heel champion. She's very unlikable, but in the best way. Like it's somebody like, oh, she's pretty, she's approachable, she seems very charismatic, but when you get into her orbit, oh God, it's Mean Girl City. And she's so good at it and doing it in a non-outright condescending way. She's like genuinely just scathing, taking you down. And I miss that fire from Alba Fire. I also miss her older name,
have the
but
fiber.
She needs that phoenix to rise from the ashes, my friend. So, from the ashes, a new life is born. Yeah. May she someday spread her wings and soar.
Yes, sir.
Aleister Black. Tommy End. So, I enjoyed him pre-NXT to a certain extent. And he had this idea of this malevolent force that was into Wicca and witchcraft and, very a demonic presence. And we see him go to NXT. He's Aleister Black, and he comes in, he's a face, but acting like a heel.
Do you want to just do Aleister Black, or are we going to touch into his Malachi Black with AEW as well?
I'll probably stick just to the WWE side, but even if you go to that, the fans wanted to cheer him. He's very, very exciting with his unique, whatever type of wrestling he's known for, and all his karate skills. The man is just that damn good, and he can put on some very exciting matches.
Aleister Black is, to me, I think he's just seems likable. The character's cool. Like, I don't know if he would say heel is forced upon him, or
his whole because his whole first year in NXT, until he wanted to take over New Orleans, was him being undefeated as a face. And then we basically see him go into this Dark Father storyline on the main roster. They do nothing with him. They bring him up and come pick a fight with me. We're supposed to have these big
heel, right?
Kind of. That was the thing. We didn't really get like a defined version of him because we never got to see it fleshed out. Now he's a heel. He came back as a face and made his heel turn, went up against Damian Priest. I honestly, I do like him as a heel, but I prefer him as like the opposite, of the bad guy, the good guy that has these unnerving powers. A bit of the, you add the occult into it, and the black mass kick is great. I've enjoyed the Indonesian martial arts of Pencak Silat. That's what it's called.
I say he's better as a baby face. Well, not like I wouldn't even say baby face. I would just say face.
Yes. I mean, that I don't even think I'm pronouncing it right. Pencak Silat. And it is class of related Indonesian martial arts. It term refers to professional combativeness. It is a full body fighting form incorporating strikes, grappling, and throwing, in addition to kicks. All right. In addition to weaponry as well. So they use weapons here. Very cool. Nice. Like I said, it comes across quite well with him being trained in such a way. I like him as a face. I like the story of people trying to approach him and get beat down. Everybody wants to conquer him. You know, him being that final boss of SmackDown in a way could work really well as a face. I'm not against the heel turn. And now that they added Zelina,
I don't think. Selena Vega's better as a heel.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of combine her in with this. Exactly. You felt me. The two of them. So okay, Zelina's a very boring baby face.
Yeah, like
there is nothing to her. Yeah, she's very tiny. And I don't mean that in a complete negative, but she's much smaller than most of the other females. So it's already like you have to really suspend disbelief for her to get competitive. And then on top of it, her only motivation, and I hate saying this, but it's the God's honest truth, is that her father passed away in 9/11. What else have they told us about her as a face that we know about? What are any of her motivations, or what's a storyline that she had? The only thing they've done with her is march her out every 9/11 anniversary, and then they gave her the women's U.S. title so that she could take the belt to the 9/11 memorial this year as well and show her dad, which is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of that. But that's all they do for her as a face. They did not give her any grace whatsoever by adding any type of storyline, or it was basically like, oh, you're from Puerto Rico. Let's get you in there and you're in the main event against Rhea at Backlash. And then we won't see you again for another year and 10 months. Not because she's injured either. So her, I like better as a heel. When she was teaming with Andrade and NXT, I remember that Gargano match. She was such a thorn in his side and just always so quick and cunning and alert. She was on top of being the best heel manager possible. She interrupted every pinfall. She gave him Hurricane Rana. You know what I mean? Like, she was just vicious and motivated. When you see her as a face, she's smiling, but it looks like it's empty behind those eyes. She's
perfect as a manager role too. No offense to her in ring skills at all. But
her acting, her performance, all of it. She's very good at being Aleister Black's like leading lady. But the problem that they're having right now is no fault of their own. But they're getting destroyed by comparisons of, oh, this is a dollar store general version of Cross and Scarlett.
And no offense to Cross and Scarlett, I would say that. See, here's the mix. I think acting-wise, I think Selena might be better than Scarlett, like when playing that heel. But I think Karrion plays his character better than Aleister.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And
we really haven't gotten to see much from any of those two. You know, either of them.
And if you're in the ring, Aleister is a way. I want to say maybe I will, but like.
I wouldn't say way better, but he tends to be a bit more enticing or exciting. He's a bit more like into the sudden, like the black mask comes out of somewhere, you know?
At the same time, I want to say you're just a dollar store because Aleister and Zelina can play at their level.
Yes. Absolutely. So like I said, it's unfair comparisons. And it basically is just them saying like, oh, the fans saying, hey, these two are similar because they've done this before. So Aleister Black, I prefer him as a face. His wife, Zelina Vega, I prefer as a heel.
You know?
Right. They had a lot that they could have done with this. So,
but a heel for both.
Yes, indeed. So
this one coming up. See, I don't know what you say. If we're going by his WWE run here, right?
Yes.
There's nothing much to say. He's done nothing of note. And we'll just put his partner in there with him.
Yes. So if we're going to talk about Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, we're going to do it as a duo because they've been presented as a tag team. So we're going to go ahead and count them both into one. That's right.
For their WWE run, they've only been face, right?
These guys are incredible tag team specialists. They are very high speed, highly innovative. They use a very hybrid style that fuses technical wrestling with like these crazy advanced high spots. That's how I would say them. I mean, they have 2 decades of global experience. TNA, Ring of Honor, everywhere underneath the sun. These guys, I mean, they captured the titles in their 2nd week by defeating the Bloodline. Remember, they took on Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, Tonga Toa, Toa Tonga, Tonga Leah. And they won the titles. So these guys are incredible tag team specialists. The problem is WWE just was like, hey, this is the Motor City Machine Guns. You either know them or you don't. So you're cheering for them because you know them from TNA, or you're excited to see a new act. But they didn't do anything to get these guys more over. Yes, they gave them the titles and stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, we didn't really get promos from these two. We didn't really get like a lot of talking, and maybe that's for the best. But to me, it feels a bit less than. And I feel like in SmackDown, the thing that's suffered the most right now is the tag division. You know, we're on our way. We're going back to 3 hours, which is good. But until we get there, we've got some bumps in the road, surely. So I miss how well the tag team division was doing previously. I prefer the Motor City Machine Guns as faces. Go out there, tear it up. I just wish they gave them a little bit more substance.
Yeah, I would definitely say that with you as well. Like, they are an incredible tag team. They should get featured way more often. They are a legit contender in the tag team division if you build them up to be that.
Yeah.
But that's all. Like, they don't have any much to go about them, though, because WWE didn't present them in that light yet, and they've only been babyface in WWE, so you can only say face, and I would think they should be face anyway. I don't see them as heels.
Absolutely. I don't envision them as heels. I feel like them being heels would almost be forced, unnatural.
I would say so as well.
Evil, even. Oh, I should say evil, even.
Evil.
There we go. Wrong sound effect. So I think we concur. Their faces. Now we get into an all-time fan favorite. Don't let the 5 feet of fury fool you. Great things come in small packages. Alexa Bliss has made history literally at every turn since debuting. All the way back when she came through in 2016, she won the Raw and then the SmackDown's titles in her rookie year. I mean, she managed to do a ton of great accolades and accomplishments, multi-time tag team, women's tag champion, most recently with Charlotte. I have thoroughly enjoyed her for the most part. Now, this is probably where I lose some people. As much as I love the Firefly Funhouse and Bray and all of that, her taking over the gimmick and everything they did with the Lily doll and all of that was terrible. And it really went against everything that they tried to do with The Fiend. She brought chaos to Alexa's playground and with Lily and therapy and all that, but it never really felt like her. It didn't. She was trying. Remember in the therapy office, and she had to smash stuff and be angry, and it didn't feel legitimate.
It didn't feel organic.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like this is what we told you to feel. Maybe she couldn't tap into something, but her and Bianca Belair teaming up, winning the tag team titles on Halloween. She came back to the Rumble this year with one of the best ovations ever. I still go back and play that like once a month. I hate this version of her theme as well, but I love the bass they have in it. Like, it's so added and deep. It just consumes you.
Why not just give her the original version back if she's back to that kind of character, though?
You would think, right? But
yeah, but
they have everybody. I mean, look what they did to poor Zack Ryder.
Well, if they were going to bring back the Zack Ryder gimmick, by the way, they should have just brought back the OG version of the theme.
Yeah.
I digress on that. But Alexa Bliss, personally, to me, I think is a better heel with the goddess character. That's the best version of Alexa Bliss I think we've gotten.
Okay, I feel that. And I agree. So the reason I agree is because her being the goddess, but she did it as a face as well. You know, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth on this because she's not a bad heel. She's not. But she's one of the ones that I envision and see how she is right now with Charlotte. People crying and throwing babies in the air to see her show up. The fans love her. And I feel like she's in a spot where she would have to really, really do something heinous to get the fans to boo her.
What's there?
My bass.
I don't know. I think that the OG version of her is the best version.
Okay, so the heel Alexa that we first got, where she came up and won the titles, and I agree. I really do. The goddess was the best, and I do like her as a face right now. Like it would be very hard for her to be heel, but my favorite version of her, like you, was the goddess when she came out on top of the world, ready to just destroy everybody. Absolutely. Next up, as we both agreed with Alexa, we preferred her as the heel goddess. Angel Garza. I forget he's still working there at times, sadly. And
me too.
You know, I wish that wasn't the case, but they haven't done anything with him of note in ages, it feels like. I mean, realistically, what have we gotten? He's been there since what? He joined NXT in 2019. He got the Cruiserweight Championship from Leo Rush. I remember that. And
has he ever been a face?
I think very briefly, when him and Humberto Carrillo were the dynamic duo themselves, the ambiguously gay duo. When they moved up to Raw in 2023. It really didn't do anything for me, but he was supposed to be a face then, and then turned into them being heel. He's not a bad talent in the ring whatsoever, but it feels like they don't know who they want him to be, and they basically turned him into just a jobber, and hey, not everybody is always going to win. It happens in some regards, but I want to kind of lump Berto in here too. And it's not just because they're a tag team, but it does go ahead and kind of show where they've left them to. Humberto Carrillo, when he first started, remember everything that he had? Like, they really went ahead and put a lot into him originally. They had him taking on Seth Rollins and his heel, version there when he was with AOP and Buddy Murphy and all of that. They've tried to do things, but I feel like he never got the moment that would work best with the fans. And unfortunately, Berto, high flyer and all, just kind of gets forgotten about. Him and Angel, I feel like, should be in AAA fully right now. They get cheered there. Let them, get more time there, because they're clearly not giving it to him on SmackDown. And I feel like the fans don't want to see them on SmackDown. So
I would say so as well. And I don't blame them, because what's there about them?
Angel Garza as a face, I can't picture. And then Humberto Carrillo, Berto is... Anytime he was a face,
as like a goofy,
it was so unbelievably silly. He was like the, was
the joke at the time to make it sound like Alberto Del Rio?
That's how I took it. Humberto Carrillo is Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, and with him coming in and being such a character in a way of like what a face should be, like he was really like, I gotta be a good guy kind of thing, and it weighed on a lot of the fans, and especially when heading into that COVID time where we needed strong character work, he just really couldn't get into it. So I feel like having Berto and Angel together, I prefer them as heels, but I don't think they work well as faces.
No. I think definitely heel. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Angelo Dawkins. As we continue on the list, you see that there's quite a few people here that we have to kind of combine together, because we've not gotten Angelo Dawkins, as athletic and relentless as he could be, as a singles competitor. This man, coming from football, wrestling, and track, he's used to outworking every opponent. Dawkins is a real competitor. Here's the thing. They needed an opposite for him that would gel well and kind of complete the package. And that's Montez Ford. When they won at TakeOver 25 and they got the tag team titles in that legendary fucking Fatal 4-Way ladder match, I was so excited to see them live in person, grab those belts. The Street Profits were just as over as Adam Cole or any other top star on the brand at that point in time. The crowd was celebrating with them long after the cameras went out. We were passing out red Solo cups and going nuts. It was a hell of a victory. And then from there, it felt like, oh, we're supposed to love these guys. And they came to the main roster, and it happened to coincide with, the pandemic and everything being shut down. So we just got more of the same, because there wasn't much else for them to do besides just go out there and wrestle some matches. And we've gotten some heel turns and we've gotten some face turns, and they've gone back and forth. But
this will give my answer away, but I don't think we've ever gotten a proper heel run from these guys.
Not a proper one. I mean, they've done it a couple of times where they briefly turned heel.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
Lashley,
but it never really came to fruition where they were full heels. So yeah, these guys, for me, faces all the way. The crowd wants to smoke. Yeah. So do the opponents.
I agree.
Absolutely. Now, you and I were equally confused about this one. Apollo Crews still works there?
He's still, I guess he's on the SmackDown side too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe so. He's been there coming out of the independents and NXT since 2017. What has he accomplished? He chased the NXT title, couldn't get it. He chased when he aligned himself with Titus Worldwide, and they did that main event against Braun Strowman and all that stuff. He got the U.S. title with Commander Aziz was his name, that big giant that was with him. Not Omos, as I was thinking. Commander Aziz. And he won the IC title in that Nigerian fight at WrestleMania 37, where he got that silly accent. So this guy, not that I've not been a big fan of his. Like, I love the Street Profits. I wanted to like Apollo Crews. He's good in the ring. He's just, it bores me. I'm sorry, it does. There's like nothing to him. It's white meat babyface kind of when he was. And then when they went heel, they did the foreign, menace. And it was, again, so overdone that you couldn't get into either side. None of it felt realistic, and none of it felt like it mattered. Yeah. So, to me, I'm shocked he's still here. I would prefer him, believe it or not, as a face, because he was good about being like the cruiserweight style, getting people going. But
I agree. No, fair.
Between the two of us, sounds a bit shocking to not remember that he's even still employed. But they don't do a great job with a lot of people they have.
You could.
And we still have 2 free agents to go through as well. So. Axiom is another one that Kid A behind the mask. Love this guy. He's super, super fun to watch. Defines explosive energy like no other. He is a really incredible wrestler. And it was funny that they put him behind a mask because he was such a good looking guy and known in the UK scene. He's basically a modern day superhero. And as much as that sounds like fluff or BS, this guy gets out there and does unbelievable things. And with him joining forces with Nathan Frazier, they sparked one of the best tag teams in the past 5 years. Fraxium have done it all, and I cannot wait to see them be tag champs on the main roster. So these 2 great baby faces, these are the get your money for your, what you're getting to put out with. These guys are always going to deliver. If they've got a match on the show, it's going to be stellar. If they give you 2 minutes or 20, no matter what, you're going to be entertained And the things they do in terms of the wrestling is just, it's incredible. They really pull out all the stops. So.
I think this just shows how good the SmackDown division is for them.
Absolutely. And if only they went up a bit sooner when they were having all cylinders firing with the tag division and things. And a lot of people are blaming
they originally,
the 3-hour story, but
they originally were on Raw. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I thought they just debuted on SmackDown, but
I swear that they were on Raw, then they moved them over to
I think they appeared on Raw. According to WWE.com, it says they're part of the SmackDown roster as of April 2025 because they were still in NXT before then. But I think they've been on both shows competing, definitely. But these guys...
Before they decided which one.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would have put them on Raw because, that Raw tag team division,
That was the thing. There was no tag division on Raw, and SmackDown had this already bolstered great, product. And where Raw was lacking in certain ways, SmackDown was lacking in other. And I know people were down on the 3 hours, but really it's not that much more time. You're only getting 40 minutes more of TV. But what does that do? Well, that's 2 to 3 spots, right? 40 live minutes. So that's where Chelsea Green doesn't get her celebration cut. That's where the tag teams go ahead and get to have their match that week. That's where the women's division got to have a little bit more of, the time on there to actually build a division. It's not just Jade and everybody else is going to suffer. So all in all, Fraxium, the two of them together, I'm shocked they didn't break them up yet. I'm thrilled they didn't. I thought a long time ago they were going to separate these two. I'm glad they never did. I cannot wait to see what comes next. These two epitomize what's the future holding, and I cannot state that enough. They have been so entertaining to watch. I love them as faces.
You going faces?
Yeah. I couldn't picture what they would, what Axiom would look like heel. Nathan Frazier, I can see a little bit, but that's one that leaves a bit to be desired. So I'm curious. It'll happen eventually, but we'll have to see how they get there.
You never know.
Never know, indeed. BFAB is an interesting case because she's really not been utilized much. She was part of Hit Row, and she basically stood out there, but she was just a mouthpiece for them. And then they kind of forgot her for a while. She briefly showed up after everybody else from Hit Row, Swerve and AJ Francis were all let go. She got sent to SmackDown, and she challenged the champion on Friday. That was a big moment for her. But besides that, what have we seen? Nothing. So the few bits where she's been a heel has been enticing. It's something that seems interesting, but I don't know enough about her to really make a full judgment. But it seems like she's better at the heel side of things than being a face, especially with Hit Row.
100%. She just has that attitude.
Yeah. And we talked about Berto already.
We did talk about Berto, but BFAB, I just don't buy as a face at all.
I can't either. I agree.
This one gonna be a little Bianca Belair.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. When you bring up Bianca
straight out of the gate, because NXT, she was a heel, right?
Not really. I mean, in NXT, she was more of a face the whole time. She came out skipping, and she was, I'm the best. I'm the EST. I'm the all SEC, all American track athlete. And she basically, on the NXT side, used her hair as a weapon. That was the most heel thing she did. But no, it
was more of an arrogant.
Yeah, it was an arrogant face, but she wasn't. She took on Sasha Banks. You saw that in person. So at Mania.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Absolutely, and she lost to Becky Lynch at SummerSlam in 3 seconds, I think that was. And then got to defeat Becky at WrestleMania 38. And then she held the title.
Are you sure she wasn't a heel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe.
I mean, she was a heel.
When? On the SmackDown or on NXT?
Or NXT, yeah.
Not that I remember, but Let's double check while we're talking. But yeah, she's one that has pretty
I want her
much.
to turn heel.
I'm curious to see what she would look like as a heel. So let's see here. She made her in-ring during a segment, NXT Live, where she proclaimed to be the EST of NXT, the prettiest, baddest, strongest, etc. She made her in-ring debut on my birthday, September 29th, losing to Aaliyah. And Blair made her television debut under the ring name Bianca Belair, taking part in a battle royal. She was eliminated, and she was a face, and she teamed up. She had an undefeated streak, beating Lacey Evans, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Deonna Purrazzo, and then she made her WrestleMania debut by participating in the WrestleMania 34 Women's Battle Royal.
I lost it, guys. I thought she was a heel.
She had an undefeated streak, and she beat Shayna Baszler to take out her streak at TakeOver Phoenix, and then TakeOver New York. Belair failed to win the title as she was submitted by Baszler in a fatal four-way match with Kyrie and Io. And then she teamed on the face side to take on the heels. It was Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Tegan Nox. And that was the first ever Women's War Games match, and one of my favorites. That's the one where Dakota turned and took out Tegan Nox, and it was just Rhea and frickin' Bianca to take everybody down, on that side. And I think you're, right about that much, but
I don't know. Maybe I remember it a little wrong, but
you might be right, because it says War Games, Belair and Team Baszler, NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray lost to Team Ripley. Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Tegan Nox. So yeah, she would have been on the heel side. So you might be right. I think you might be onto something. I might be misremembering, but yeah, she could have been classified more as a heel. I just remember her as an arrogant bitch, but I think you're right. I think you might be right.
I think with her, I'm going to go heel.
Yeah.
I just see it in her.
All right.
I'm just going to go heel with Bianca Belair because I know damn well she can play a great heel. We haven't seen it in a while in NXT, and I think
we haven't seen it on the main roster. I'm confident of that much. I know she hasn't been heel on the main roster because
I'm going to go heel though because
out of everything we've gotten. I thought she was going to turn heel this year with everything happening with Jade and how that turned on with Naomi and whatnot. But
so does this make Naomi a babyface now, though, speaking about the...
I don't know. It's a very questionable circumstance, so we have to see what happens. But all in all, I would say I personally kind of like her more as a face, even though it's annoying at times and a bit much. I think the issue is that she's a good face, but she just killed the enthusiasm at times. She would lose at these major moments or matches, then come out skipping and smiling still. And I get having like that conviction to keep going, but that's not what this was. It was like willful ignorance, like, oh, that didn't happen, on to the next. So as much as that irritated me with the booking, I think she could generate better connection with the fans as a face. But that's my choice, and I'm glad we differ. Now, skipping over commentary, Candice LeRae. She's one that, I'm sorry, hasn't really gotten her due in WWE.
Yeah, so you can't really say much if you're going based off main roster. There's nothing really to say there.
So she's been face, but as a face, she was just basically, hey, I'm Candice, I'm here. That was that. Then when she went to The Way with Johnny Gargano and Indy and Austin Theory, that was a great quartet. I loved them being together, the heel side of their things, because they were like comedic heels, but yet still fun to see them get their ass beat, but you wanted them to win too. Like, it was weird because you just got into the story. And she was incredible on the independent scene coming into WWE. I mean, she was the one that was taking on men in some of these unbelievable knockdown, drag out fights and putting on better, wrestling shows than half of the men's roster in these intergender brutal matches. I mean, she's being kicked in the face with thumbtack laden sneakers by the Young Bucks and shit, and covered in blood, teaming with Joey Ryan and his gigantic. She goes ahead and she made a really, really, compelling heel there, but she also makes a great face that people can get behind. So I'm going to go with heel. Her, Johnny, The Way, all that happened there. I prefer them as heels.
Since they're in a group, you want to just combine them all?
Well, we got Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Let's just combine them all since they're all a group. There.
I prefer her as a heel. Tommaso Ciampa is a interesting case.
Tommaso Ciampa is a way better, I think, heel than a face. Candice LeRae is a heel, but Candice LeRae's husband, Candice Michelle.
I am confident in saying this, and I'm sure I'll get some shit for it, but I will make this a short and make it scream from the rooftops. I think Tommaso Ciampa was one of the best heels NXT has ever produced.
Bingo. But yep. Yeah, you know it.
And they did nothing 100%. With him on the main 100%. Roster. They have not followed up on it once.
Vince didn't like him because when he first came up, Vince was still in charge. Yeah. Even though some people will try to differ it. But Vince didn't like him. And he started off as the greatest sports entertainer of all time. He was like the standard bearer for NXT, putting on all of these great matches with NXT champions, all this. Say wrestling.
And then him and Johnny and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, they form DIY. They get full-time spots in the main roster.
Because I argue that Johnny Gargano is maybe one of the better baby faces.
Exactly. So nice dichotomy between the two. And when they had the NXT tag titles, they went on a great run there, very memorable. And then they couldn't recapture the titles, and Ciampa became vengeful, jealous, paranoid, and you saw the fractures there. You saw the split, but you didn't expect it to actually happen. But then the Chiron comes up, they lose, they're walking out, and Ciampa beats the ever-loving shit out of Johnny Gargano and turns heel. Indeed. To the point where not only did he anointed himself the Blackheart, but he also said that, hey, I don't even need entrance music. I'm going to be introduced and I'm going to walk to the ring with no theme and just soak in the booze. And the crowd would eat him alive. And it was so good. And I mean,
they need
to
have
good.
One more match. I don't think it will be as good because it's the main roster. And, for whatever reason, the main roster has to be all watered down. But
that one final beat match was memorable. I don't know if you saw that one.
One more match.
They did the one final beat where during the COVID era where they had the cinematic match, which was good. It wasn't great, but they
on the main roster to show
them DIY breaking up shortly because Ciampa can't get the U.S. title and Johnny keeps getting opportunity. They could do something, but he wants Goldie, his belt. That was everything to him. He became a master manipulator. He was ruthless. He showed his true colors, but he was also a very skilled competitor. He was ultimately extremely dangerous, and you and I both agree he makes the best heel that I swear. And NXT has had some amazing heels, but him being able to have no music and walk out and generate more heat than people, doing stretcher jobs throughout the night just shows how over this man was.
And I'm surprised that there aren't booked as good now. I'm surprised Triple H, if he has some say, wouldn't vouch for them.
Yeah. They're still featured. They're on TV. Ciampa's talking. Johnny's wrestling. They're doing stuff. They're still being used.
Triple H has full control because if he did, I think Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa would be in way better spots right now.
Yeah, they're just not being used well, I feel like. And that's kind of been the thing. So, but Candice.
Even though they're called up, I think they're more. Candice, Tommaso, and Johnny Gargano are actually more used as veteran roles backstage. Yeah. I know it's crazy to say because they just got called up to the main roster, which was way too late the last few years. But I think that they are used more as a veteran status back there.
Yeah, NXT held on to them way too long after the fact. They were afraid to let go. But The three of them, they're a great group, but Johnny as the face, when I saw him in person win the title, you know, from Adam
Well, I don't
Cole,
think Triple H wanted Vince to touch Johnny Gargano because Johnny Gargano would have been see you later. Vince would have looked at him
and been done with it. And excuse me,
later,
I said it
pal.
backwards. When I saw Adam Cole beat Johnny Gargano, I was shocked because the crowd went ahead and they turned on Johnny. He was the ultimate babyface in NXT, but they liked Adam Cole so much more that he was over as hell, and it didn't matter what Johnny did. So they wrestled as such. Adam was the heel, and he won in the end of that match. And Johnny could be the ultimate babyface. He can get the crowd to care. He can get people behind him. He can seem like a desperate underdog that's put in a dangerous position. So him as a face, the other two as heels.
Johnny Gargano reminds me of someone else on this roster. We'll get into him a little later on.
Yeah.
I see comparisons. If you don't, I don't know if you get who I'm getting at.
Maybe, but we'll get into it. So a couple names down. Carmelo Hayes is someone we're kind of going over quickly, but he was great on NXT. He's an incredible heel. He could work as a babyface, just like Trick can, just like, you know, you've seen with other top-tier talent. But I like him better when he had big victories over like Gargano and Ricochet and him, you know, getting the NXT championship over Braun Breaker. The first superstar drafted in the, you know, number 3 to SmackDown. And then they did nothing for a long time and teamed him with The Miz. And now the split with The Miz didn't even turn him face. It just made him more than. So,
right.
Granted, I feel like he's a better heel, but they need to step it up because they've not done much with him on the main roster.
100%. They need to step that up. And
Absolutely.
I think he'll end up being an overall better babyface.
Greatly put.
And I think this one coming up.
Yeah.
I know you can have a long story about her, but let's be real. Charlotte is a in and out. Just
Charlotte should always be a heel. She's comfortable as a heel. She made her debut in NXT in 2013. She won the women's title and by May of the 2014 at that takeover. From that moment, she set the standard for what was going to be the women's division. And when the Queen arrived, she made sure, it went on. She was undefeated in 16 straight pay-per-view matches. She was the first woman to ever main event a pay-per-view, taking down Sasha Banks at the Hell in a Cell match. And then, she's got so many accomplishments, so many title reigns, undefeated for so long. She defeated Asuka's undefeated streak at 34 for Mania. And then
like 90% of this was done as a heel.
Yeah, 35 Mania winner-take-all match against Ronda and Becky. You know, that was the main event for the first time ever with the ladies. But still, no matter what. And it's been fun seeing her as a face recently, yes. But they managed to rehab the character that they've struggled to do for a long time with her. And there's a reason for it, because she's not genuinely likable for the most part. She comes across as very, I don't want to say sarcastic, but demeaning in a way. She feels, you get that I'm better than you inside and out of the ring. It doesn't feel like it's just a story. And that might not be who she is at all. She might be just that good of an actress and a heel to make you feel like, wow, she is a fucking all the time.
Yep.
But it could just be, her acting, because you hear good things from everybody. But granted, I think she makes the ultimate heel in the women's division. She's very good at getting the crowd to boo her. And damn, she's done a lot. And I think it wasn't until the most recent run that people started to respect everything that she's given us throughout the years. I mean, she's still going very well at this point. And even with all the injuries she's had and all the nip slips, everything included, she's still managing, except when her, gear doesn't cooperate, she's managing to put on great performances. So her and Alexa, I don't think are done yet. We've got story building with her hating Rhea. They're in a good place with her as a face. And it's working, surprisingly, but I still prefer her as a heel.
100% heel all day.
Yes, indeed. Now, one of my more recent favorites, I've enjoyed Chelsea Green for a long time. No secret there. She made a surprise return in 2023 when she was gone. She comes back, and since her return, she's actually been a player in the game. So since then, you saw her develop more character. She's been a heel, but she backs it up. She's not shy of speaking her mind, but she backs it up. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, and she backs it up. That freaking match with Michin, where she had the hardcore bout, came out looking like Cactus Jack. She knows her audience. She knows, like all this said, how to maximize her minutes. You can call her a Karen. You can call her a bitch. You can call her whatever you like, but so long as you call her U.S. champ first, because she's also holding the AAA mixed tag team titles with Ethan Page. The moon is not even the end of her destination. I see her just going very far. And it's because she's so likable as a heel, which is a very funny thing to say, but she makes herself so entertaining that you can't help but enjoy her. So I prefer her as a heel.
Yep. I would have to go with heel as well, because she just has that good Karen aspect about her character. Like, she just nails whatever role that you give her perfectly, and she just that arrogant, sassy asshole that you have to deal with at your daily jobs. Right?
Yes.
If you can relate, there's always someone like that.
Always
or a customer if you work at like a grocery store, restaurant, stuff like that. She fits the role perfectly, and yes, heel all the way.
Glad we agree. Now, heading into our next individual, a fan favorite. We know everybody loves the man. You hear him chant his name. Cody Oniti Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes, from undesirable to undeniable.
I'm going to give you this one. Like, I don't buy a babyface Cody Rhodes whatsoever, and I know it's shocking. Whoa, he took down the bloodline and finished his story as the ultimate all-time babyface. How can he not be a babyface in your eyes? Because Cody Rhodes is what Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, John Cena have all called him. He's a fake politician. He's a liar. And this is where I say, in the real wrestling world, the heels are actually the good guys, and the good guys are actually the bad guys.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. All the politicking and all the suit, the presentation of him, how he's a fence sitter. I agree.
Has a mask on. He has a mask on. He is not a face. He
works great as a face because the crowd got behind him simply because of luck.
That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely. That there's a whole facade there, and it slips at times. And I truly see him as an icon, like a Hogan, like an Austin, like a Michaels. But here's the thing: when he won at WrestleMania 40, that was luck. That wasn't the intended plan. That wasn't.
And it wasn't his story to finish. By the way,
exactly. So
another topic for another day.
When he lost at 39, supposedly there wasn't a plan for him to go to 40 to win it, like everybody thought. Like that was it. Cody lost, and they were gonna, finish the story later down the line, and then it just worked into its way.
If you have any value that you want to bring to this channel, I don't mind making this a video, Jake. Maybe you can play moderator. Like I want to debate you if you disagree on that. This is not Cody Rhodes' story to finish. It never was. So
it never was.
I want to debate someone on that.
I know. We've got to find someone that doesn't agree, because I agree with you there wholeheartedly. They got lucky because Cody fit as the ultimate good guy in that scenario, and people got behind him.
Yeah.
It connected with the other working parts of the story, the Seth Rollins and the Jey Uso, all that. But Cody wasn't Rhodes his story. When I think, when I think of Cody, I don't view him as, like a sniveling, whiny heel. No, I picture him more as like a deranged heel, where he's gone so far into his own ego that he can't get out of it. Like when he was putting paper bags on people's
his heel
heads.
Turn should be what the John Cena heel turn should have been.
Yeah, basically. And I think we will get it eventually, but it's going to be a while off still. But Cody as a heel is going to be a big thing. That's going to be a lot of money.
He's going to be the Rock's champion. I think he's going to, I think at the end of the day, it's going to have something to do with the Rock, because The Rock, any interview he does, he mentions
Cody Rhodes.
The Rock, I think, loves Cody Rhodes, by the way. I don't think it's anything like he wants to bury him. I think The Rock actually does truly like Cody Rhodes. But The Rock knows ball. The Rock knows who he truly is. And that's the one thing I would say The Rock is correct on. This man needs to be a heel.
I mean, you're not wrong.
The Rock sees it. The Rock sees it.
Yeah, The Rock knows. And, for the way that we've seen things transpire and go down, I could see The Rock being the catalyst to it, certainly. But
I think he has to be, you have to follow that.
I mean,
because
you say have to, but we got no follow up with Cena either. So that's kind of the problem. It's what Rock wants to do.
I think he'll do the follow up since it's because this is something I think he's actually intrigued in. I think
could be
what he wanted.
Cody makes a great babyface.
Said Cody Rhodes is turning heel, by the way.
People love him for a reason. He's, like I said, very charismatic, very enigmatic, and he's good about politicking and presenting himself in such a way. Thing is, I see what you're saying about the mask slipping, that dropping.
Every rivalry he has, who has the better points, him or his rival?
Yeah, his competitor
makes way better points than him. When he has
Kevin
a
Owens.
heel opponent, they are a justified heel in the scenario.
Kevin Owens made the most sense. These guys tore you down and made you miserable for years, and now you're teaming with them to help them. When I almost got killed by them,
friends.
Yeah,
I'm one of your best friends, and I had to help you and bust my ass, and you run and help them.
And what did that make happen?
Clips of him saying, "You never helped me at all."
Exactly. That made Cody the good guy and Kevin the heel. And what did you say before? The heels are really the good guys.
Yes. Again, this reminds me of the Liv and Rhea scenario, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rhea injured Liv, and Liv had to be the bad guy.
Exactly. She wants to come back for revenge, and you're like, oh, but if a face did it, it would be, oh, I need to, get my revenge because I need to take them down instead of being.
Rhea is actually the good guy in that rivalry, but it was always Liv. Liv, I think, would you argue it was a justified heel?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, I've always liked the heels more, but as we get older, we can see what makes a good heel. And it's that not just relatability, but justification. How are they justified in their actions? Can they reasonably be explained in such a way that makes sense? And a lot of times the faces are doing it just because it's the right thing to do, or it's their moral code, or they feel like they're obligated to.
Liv Morgan, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre are all, I would argue, what you would call a justified heel.
Yeah. And instead you get them and you can understand why they're motivated to respond in such a way, why they're doing things like this.
Because look at Liv, again, when people get attacked, they automatically frame her, and then she'll never have anything to do with it, because Liv says, if I'm going to do something that dramatic and drastic to someone, I'm going to advertise it.
Absolutely. So Cody being the same mark, I feel like Cody makes a better heel. You think back to him, the paper bags.
100%.
Absolutely. We'll get more of that. Now, here's our next one. And this is someone that I've jumped back and forth on a few times myself. Damian Priest.
Oof.
He wants to make a name of his own, and he's been, with the Judgment Day for a long time. That was kind of his only identity.
Here's the thing, he was in Edge's Judgment Day, and I don't know if you argue that version is the best Judgment Day, or were they better with Damian Rhea, or are they better off now?
That's a good topic in its own right.
That all depends. For him, is the Judgment Day better with a Damian in it, or is it better off now? That's
a good question, because initially it was him, Edge, and Rhea, and later they added Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. So it wasn't even like they were the initial, ones in the group.
That's another fun fact with the Judgment Day, by the way. All the rivals of Judgment Day, I think Liv and Raquel were feuding with Rhea at the time. Liv, Raquel, Dominic, Finn.
Yeah.
Right? We're all the original rivals of Judgment Day, and now they are the Judgment Day. That's a little fun fact about.
Absolutely. And Priest was the one that led the coup and started the revolt against Edge, got him out of there with Finn's help, of course, and that's what set him to fight Bad Bunny. And then
that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Does it make them better with or without the Judgment Day with Damian? Mm-hmm. I know. And, we saw him win the title at WrestleMania 40 as well. He beat Drew by cashing in.
And that was a heel
Yeah.
at the time, kind of, but he was, I think, turning babyface.
He was turning. People were cheering it. They liked the Judgment Day, so he's turned since then. But I feel like he was better sufficed as a heel. He's one of those that you just, I don't know. He could be a good guy, but most often his good guy runs feel marred with boredom. Like he's not great at generating support when he's being burnt or beat down, or people want to see him get revenge, but they're not generating as much sympathy.
When he was like world heavyweight champion, like he did good. I think he had like a solid run with it for the most part, like Judgment Day shenanigans. That's what happens when you're in factions. But Damian Priest, I would lean more towards heel.
Yeah, I think we would have to. So absolutely, he seems to be one that just makes better as a heel. Now, Dexter Lumis, we'll hold off for a minute. We'll get into Drew McIntyre and we get to Eric Rowan. We'll do the entire Wyatt 6. But while we're comparing Damian Priest...
skipping the Pretty Deadly Boys, by the way.
Yeah, we'll give them a quick little pickup, but, I think it reset on us. Thank you, Sir SmackDown. But yeah, having Damian Priest and Drew be so comparable. Like, I like Damian Priest better as a heel.
Well, Drew McIntyre, he's a little different because, like, he's a justified heel. So is he really a heel?
That's the thing. Drew is, he is eccentric. He does go on these tirades.
Everything he brings, but he's correct with it.
Yeah,
what he's saying.
He was never worried about being Mr. Popular. He wants to be Mr. Right. The Scottish psychopath is a psychopath for a reason. I mean, he beat Lesnar. We saw that great face run. I loved him as a babyface and felt so bad that it was marred with controversy with the pandemic shutting the world down, no fans, all of it. Because that Rumble was a great Rumble. That victory was incredible, and him eliminating Lesnar was beyond a moment. And it was a moment that led into more. So it wasn't just a moment for moment's sake. But since then, he made this incredible heel run with everything we saw with CM Punk and the Bloodline and all of it. And once we got away from Drew with the sword and being Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky face, we got really deep into it. And he's sarcastic, and he's rude, and he's arrogant, and he's right. Most of the times he is indeed justified. So it's hard to argue against a man that's right in his thoughts, but wrong in his actions. Like he'll attack the referee, he'll side with other people, he'll do these heinous things, but it's all because of his feeling justified. And what does that make? A great heel. So I really, as much as I want to see Drew, hold the title and be cheered in front of fans.
He's not a heel, though, in a way.
No,
he's not.
You could argue, but he does do heel things, though. So here's the thing: like he initially is justified, but then he takes that justification and becomes so obsessed with it that it becomes psychopathic in nature, where he starts attacking people and blindsiding people and doing these different heinous things. And
are we talking about Drew McIntyre? Or,
yeah, Drew McIntyre. I mean, him going ahead and, like, he feels justified, but then he's got to go ahead and he's got to take out Cody and Drew, and, he's kicking their head into the announce desk and beating up the referee. And so the initial idea, that spark of it, he's justified. But then his anxieties and insecurities and all of that kicks in.
Because I thought the other guy you were talking about, because he has no justification.
No, Damian Priest doesn't.
No, Damian Priest does not.
But Drew does, and Drew is an eloquent, excellent speaker. He's great on the mic, and he's really good about getting his point across.
This always needs to be Drew's. Like, this is like, because he's like great with the internet as well. Like any trend, he'll find a way to do the dig it on his rival. Like
it's a silly thing to say, like, he's got his finger on the pulse, but it's true.
Cody thing for a live stream, like, and I think he followed suit with that. Like, he also ended up doing that same. Respect me, Cody. Yes.
Cody. Yeah, he had that up there, and threw that.
That was
on.
funny.
He knows what's trending. Like I said, it sounds silly and retarded to say, oh, he's got his finger on the pulse, but he does. He knows what's trending, what's relevant, what's popular, what needs to be capitalized on. And then he not only like captures that, but he turns it into something else. He finds a way not to just jump on memes, but become a trend himself because of how innovative he is. And that's what makes him special, because it sets him aside from most of the rest of the roster. Not only is he this great speaker that can kick ass and do all these amazing feats, but he's justified and he's able to convince you that he's right. And that's dangerous. And that makes for a great heel.
100%.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, pretty deadly boys, but Jake, if you have something to say on them, go ahead. But
Elton Prince and
I really don't care for them.
Kit Wilson. So Elton Prince is injured. Kit Wilson is there getting his ass beat as a secondary. They're listed as one of the most cunning and dangerous teams. Apparently, I must not be watching what they are. I know we need people to lose. You need people to come up and
like Triple H says how WWE is Marvel, bro. Like I don't know if Marvel would like their comparison to WWE with how SmackDown's booked.
So they won the NXT tag titles twice. They got the second one at Worlds Collide 22. And then when it seemed like, all right, they can't do much more in NXT, they get moved up to SmackDown in 23 for the draft, excuse me, as I choke over here. And then nothing. Like, all right, you guys were tag champs, you were doing stuff, and then they just continue to lose and get beat and look like jokes. They would get included in some of like the tag team divisions mess, but they were never a focal point or ones that felt like a threat. So pretty deadly. Sure, they're better heels, but all in all, skip.
Yep.
Yeah, better heels. All right.
I can't imagine them as faces, by the way, but Wyatt's.
Here comes the fun part. So we look.
This might be
Eric Rowan
first down the middle.
So there's a lot to consider here, a lot of moving parts and different people, and that's kind of the issue.
So with Wyatt 6, are we just going off their history as to Wyatt 6, or are we just going to do the whole?
You got to consider everything, and basically what they said. Yeah, I mean all of it, and
like that's what they were at first, right? What was the character originally?
Yeah, Eric Rowan was him and Luke Harper ended up being a great tag team. Luke Harper, Brody Lee is missed incredibly so, and
it's crazy that 2/3 of them are gone. The OG Wyatt family. Oh my God.
I know. Him and Braze.
And they almost lost Strowman as well, remember?
Yeah, not that long ago. So
that was scary.
Eric Rowan was in a rough spot because Bray was the charismatic, evil web spinning leader that was, capturing people's minds. And Luke Harper was big like Rowan, but could move he was very agile, and he would do these incredible spots that you didn't see from such a big man. But I called him Big Rig. Eric Rowan was just kind of in the background. And then they tried briefly to do a thing with him and Daniel Bryan. Remember where they had like a fake attacker that was like his brother or something, all these horrible 2019 reveals and things that went to the wayside.
It made sense because Daniel Bryan did join the Wyatt family, so he did have some connection with Eric Rowan, I guess.
Right.
But
if we go through Eric Rowan,
remember, weird, they also made him join Team Cena with versus Team Authority for whatever.
Yeah, very true too. So, and they just kind of squeezed him in there. And they tried for a bit to make him a face, and it just
the Wyatts didn't even break up. But Luke Harper and Eric Rowan were on opposing sides for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't remember the Wyatts
bizarre.
Do you?
No, they were kind of they just split them, and then they got them back together eventually. But
Vince, I think, liked them all as a unit instead.
Yeah, I mean Dexter
Loomis tried
Loomis
to push Luke Harper on his own. I think that was the thing, right? He wanted
kind of.
Harper to be his
well,
own
he
guy.
wanted Eric Rowan originally. They had him have the whole spider gimmick. Remember, where he had carried the thing in the case.
But Luke Harper won the Intercontinental title, right?
I believe so. Yes, yes, he won it. So that was definitely a definite. But you look at the group now and who they have, what they're doing, what they could be doing. with the Wyatt Six, you go through every participant and who's involved. And honestly, it's not what it could or should be. And that's kind of the thing. So Eric Rowan is just more Eric Rowan. Dexter Loomis, he was a creepy stalker. Now he's a silent man made anew without fear of betrayal. He said he's home and he's made anew. That's the thing with the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy being involved. All right, Joe Gacy was in NXT. We saw the schism thing happen with Ava. It didn't really work out, but he was interesting. He was creepy and he had a certain je ne sais quoi for the horror. So it was, let's see what they get with going forward. And then Nikki Cross, of course, as well. She's one that I prefer as a heel. Her and the almost a superhero gimmick was not for us. It was for young girls and whatnot, but it was still very, very silly the way they handled that. And it took a lot away from her intimidation and her threatening demeanor when she was crazy and would lose her mind. You think back to where she knew who attacked Aleister Black and I've got a secret. I know who, all that shit. And instead you get this and she lights the way, but it's all darkness. And then Uncle Howdy, the leader, because we Bo leave in Bo Dallas. So Bo comes into NXT. He's white hot there, moves up to the main roster, always in this fucking shadow of his brother. They never give him anything to really excel with. He gets the B team over as a parody, go, go, go. And then nothing. He loses his brother, his friend, and they reinvent them into the Wyatt Six because he was being Uncle Howdy, obviously, with, Bray and the Fiend and everything going on there. So we know they got together because they all lost their family. They needed a new group to feel whole again. Their sanctuary became their bond, and the line between Bo and Howdy was no more. But we don't know anything more about any of them. We haven't gotten more VHS tapes to explain things. We haven't gone any further. So they turned them heel, but they didn't do anything to turn them heel except have them attack people, which they were already doing before. I would be preferred to cheer the Wyatt Six, but I like the idea of them being heels more. The horror gimmick really lends itself well to them being heels. So I'm hoping we do eventually get more, and I'm saying, hey, hopefully that's what happens, but Milo agrees. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be...
overall,
yeah,
I'm going to actually say this is a...
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think either or, honestly.
Kind of, yeah, because in between, and not being tweeners, but just being in between,
not tweeners, yeah. I'm saying tweeners, but
they can float between because they don't really have... Yeah, they could be faces of people who cheer them, or they could be a threat. I prefer them as a threat, and I wish they put more into the real life side of it and have them cut promos instead of doing like just the spooky VHS thing that we don't get.
And they turned them back face, I think.
They're still heels now, technically, with the tag titles. They're going into AAA and other places trying to take it down, but I don't know. It's certainly lacking.
I'm just going to say split. I think they're evenly as good as faces as they are heels, vice versa.
I can respect that. I would like to cheer them, but I think they might be a bit more better as heels, but that ruling stays. Then, my dear friend, we have one of my favorites from before WWE. We've got Julia here. And she's another
Julia
case.
Julia, man, what happened?
The former U.S. champ herself.
Because she had a classic, right? How long did that United States title match?
Yeah,
around
70 days, maybe less, somewhere around that for sure. Was not a long time.
And she had like a 90-second match right after that.
Yeah, and we're,
wow.
So let's
Julia,
see.
Man.
No, she had a reign of 133 days.
Really?
Yes.
And she... Then
doesn't
she just
seem
had
like it was that long, but
I felt we were back in the Divas era watching the Chelsea Green Julia match. That's where I thought we were heading.
I didn't watch a ton of the promotions that she was in, but I would watch Julia's matches. Her beauty first captured me, and then her herself afterwards. Her wrestling was very barbaric and stiff at a time where people were being a bit more light-handed. Like, she really brought the believability into Stardom, into the All-Star side of things. When she wasn't in the main event for the main title, she was still in the main event, no matter what she did. If it was a tag team match, she made that the main event and made history out of it. Whatever Julia did, you know, she got defeated by Nakano in the hair versus hair match. She shaves her head bald. She 220-day reign down the drain. And she shaves her head right there in the ring. And then from that comes back to win the Goddess of Stardom and just goes on this freaking tear of destroying people. She had so many great stories. She had a very unique look, but her wrestling style just stood out above all else. She was huge in Marigold and Dreamstar. So when she got to NXT, I thought, oh shit, she's just going to go right through NXT super quick. And that's kind of what they did. They got her in there, got her comfortable with the WWE style. And now she is on the main roster and not doing nearly anything as much as Stephanie or any of the others that have come up have accomplished. She was US champ, but she held the belt and didn't defend it. I mean, here we are. We're supposed to have this redefined women's division. We're ushering in a new era in SmackDown. You know, we've had icons like Asuka and Io and Kairi and Julia make the leap from Japan. So let's see what Julia can do. And instead, she beats Zelina Vega in seconds and then loses in a minute to a roll-up. So leaves a lot to be desired. But as far as heel and faces go, this girl is a heel. Out and out, as much as you want her to be chilled, she needs that.
I'm sorry, I was yawning. I heard her United States title reign, and I started.
You just fall asleep as soon as that belt's brought up. No doubt about it. But yeah, she makes for a very interesting and accurate heel. I think that she is deadly, and she's got the ability to really go ahead and kick some major ass, but they just got to be able to keep up with it. So, Ilya Dragunov, I like him as a face. He is a great underdog. He entertains you with pain. And he said that he is defined by one word: unbreakable. And that's kind of how he wrestles. He goes out there stiff as fuck, beats the shit out of his own body and anybody else in the ring with him. And like he said, I'm going to let pain entertain you. He's very good on the mic. He's very eloquent. He speaks very, very, I don't want to say intelligently, but it comes out, you know, it doesn't feel condescending. He's just like, he's not doing it to be demeaning, but he's very flowery with his choice in verbiage. You know, he uses those big words, $1 million words, instead of just, things being quick. So I really appreciate what he tries to get across with his character and the way that he's showing, like, hey, I am the maestro of pain, and I am mentally and physically scarred from all these battles, but it's not about strength. It's about heart, and it's about showing you that I don't give up.
Right.
So I think he's a great face, and usually they have the non-American be the heel, and we get the foreign menace angle, but that's not what we're getting here. So thankfully, we've got it good with Ilya Dragunov. I am appreciative of that much.
Baby face.
Absolutely. Then that we agree there, we got Jacob Fatu.
I know, they like his little catchphrases and stuff, but Jacob Fatu just feels like a heel to me.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this man, and he does not, he looks intimidating. He does not look friendly. He puts on that aura of he's just gonna fucking wreck you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really interesting angle for a face. See, I like him as a face. The crowd gets behind him because he is so badass. I see why you prefer him as a heel. But with him on this current face role that he's got going on, breaking away from Solo and all that, we didn't get to see a ton out of it because he was marred with issues and injuries and complications and dental surgeries and whatnot. But I feel like he gets over with how powerful and explosive he is. Like, he just snaps and fucking starts throwing bodies all around. He really gets the crowd into his matches, and you don't know what's coming next with him.
I think he would be better as like an unstoppable like heel that a babyface has to chase. I think that's more of his.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. I picture him being the like antithesis of the tribal chief, you know, being the true people's champion by being a scrappy, fighting, hardworking fighter that builds himself up to the point where he gets the belt. When he is champion someday, we'll see what works better. But you're not wrong either, because as a heel, I mean, he's kind of laid the groundwork for that already as well. So he can float between both, I think, very easily, and not many can do that. I think he's one where he could go inside with the heels and you could be like, oh, fuck you, Jacob. And then next week he's not with them and you're like, yeah, kick their ass, Jacob. So I'm going to still say face. You got heel, but I see the motivations. Then Jade Cargill. This is going to be a simple one. Heel.
Yeah, we're going to go simple here. Heel, and I don't want to even discuss babyface Jade Cargill because babyface Jade Cargill sucks.
It sucks. It doesn't work. Anyway. It's not believable. She doesn't have the ability in the ring to competently lead a match in a way that a face should. So she's not good at looking like she's in peril or coming from behind or like she's in danger. She needs to look strong, even against Rhea or Bianca or Charlotte. Like, she's really got to look strong because of not just how she's presented, but how she fucking looks, right? So
exactly,
her being this face was so the opposite of what they were trying to achieve with her that fans rejected it. They didn't want her to be cheered in that regard. They wanted her to be feared. So seeing her go up against Nick Aldis and kind of have him be her foil now is kind of an interesting thing. You know, you're going to see her decimate and destroy the women's roster and give nobody the time of day. Let her be that bitch. Heel all the way.
Heel. And let's not talk MFTs. Oh my God, there's nothing about them.
I mean, really, if we're going to go through the list briefly, JC Mateo. Oh my God, like there's
nothing about them.
Jeff Cobb was really great on the independents. I didn't see much of his work, but from the highlights that I did see, he was impressive and looked to be someone that would be easily intimidating. You know, like he would be a threat. They bring him in and you're like, oh, this could be something. I mean, he's been all over the world. He was wrestling in Japan and Mexico. Anywhere he invaded, he was ripping people apart. And it's like they brought him in, handcuffed him, and put a muzzle on him. I don't know why, but they forced the group to be the MFTs. Now he's just covered in panda bear face paint with all of the Tama-tonga, Tala-tonga, Tonga-loa, Tilla-tongas, and Solo. And you know how I despise Solo Sikoa. He is one that I just cannot stand. I can't get behind. He's been placed into these positions of power so many times now without deserving a single friggin' one. Not a fucking one has he earned. He got in to be Roman's right-hand man and all the shit that went down there. Then taking the Ulafala. Why? Because Cody beat Roman. He just grabbed it, basically. Like, he never ascended. He never earned. He did not capture or actually, you know, get anything of value or worth. He loses every single time. Even with help, he loses. So he feels like one of the most unbelievable, in the sense of like you cannot believe that he will ever accomplish anything, leaders of a group. And it feels like the MFTs are already doomed because he's leading them. As where I would have liked to have seen some type of internal power struggle where JC Mateo, good old Cobb, gets his name back and takes over as the group's leader or disband the fucking group, but just take Solo out of it. But take some initiative and make yourself believable. These guys, the MFTs, all of them.
They have no character. Who are they? Tell me who they are.
They're not even jobbers. They're not even jobbers. They're not, because you don't want to see them lose quick to elevate other people. They're going out there and beating up the people you like, and they're not telling a story that's worthwhile at all. So JC Mateo, I guess we'll say the entire MFTs together, but all heels. Jimmy Uso is a very interesting case because he kind of gets looked at as the Marty Jannetty of the group. And that's unfortunate because him and his brother are tag team extraordinaires. They put on some incredible bouts throughout the history of them working together.
Which is the crazy part, because he's probably the better all over around, like Uso, like
the better talker, the better worker. But he was injured, and Jay just got the opportunity. You know, that's really what it was. I'm not so sure Jay would have still gotten the main event angle and all of that had he not been, had he been injured at that point, and had, Jimmy been injured instead, or vice versa, Jay been injured instead. I don't know that they would have given it to Jimmy, but maybe. I mean, because Jimmy just made more sense. I mean, these two had great battles and wars as tag teams with the Wyatts, with the Shield, with, the New Day. Their Hell in a Cell match was incredible. They were 622-day reigning champions with the tag titles, both sets. Longest reigning tag team champs in history by a mile. Everything with the bloodline, with Roman and Heyman and Sami Zayn and being Usi. Like, Jimmy, I think, would be a better face, honestly. He's one, most people go to heel with him, but I feel like the crowd can get behind him. They want to cheer for him. He's good on the mic. He's good at presenting his case and making people care. I think Jimmy Uso is a really good face.
I agree with that as well, because hold on 1 second there. Oh, sorry. I was getting back to somebody. But
no worries. Yes, yeah.
Jimmy, if you want to know, my sister, by the way, PC guys, I'm getting one. Just to let you guys know. But
yay!
Jimmy Uso is a better overall face because everyone just likes him. I think Sami Zayn got him over as Big Jim. Who doesn't love Jimmy? I think Jimmy is just beloved by everyone, and I think if you gave him a chance, I don't think they want to do this because they want Jay to be the popular guy, and this falls under Vince. I think Vince always liked Jay over Jimmy as well, because if they ever did do singles matches, I think he always gave those opportunities to Jay.
Not to cut you off, but from what I heard,
Jay as well,
it was people in Vince's ear, supposedly Paul Heyman and others, pushing for Jay over Jimmy. I don't know the legitimacy of that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I like to mention it because it is interesting to consider.
Yeah. But you know what's funny about the Usos, though? I know this is a heel face thing, but with Vince, when people fail or do get DUIs or something, they get fired. But when it's the Usos or something like that, Vince was like, "Oh, what? I didn't see that. Do.
Yeah,
on with our day."
It was like Cena. You can't see the fines and charges and the rest. And
Vince, because it's Vince's guy. So he's like, I don't care.
And we talked about Jimmy last time. Jimmy has
a better face. He's just the better Uso.
He was better in ring, I think. I think he's more entertaining with what we get from him in ring and his abilities. Even though him and his brother wrestle a similar style, the way he lays in super kicks and punches, he always makes it more believable. That matters to me very much so. I prefer Jimmy as a face, and I think you do as well.
Yep.
We talked about Gacy. We talked about The Way and Johnny Gargano. Here's an interesting one. And you and I have made several points throughout this episode to really hammer home the fact that, are the heels really the good guys? And this is another one where Kevin Owens, the man himself, he gets too deep into his own thoughts, right? And he's justified initially, but then he becomes so obsessed and so enraged, I would say, that he makes it his life's mission to ruin that person's life. And that's when the heel side and the vicious nature of Kevin Owens' unwillingness to stop for any means until he divvies out enough justice. I feel like Kevin Owens is the great heel that we've seen, and he can be a amazing face at times. This is actually
crazy because you would never have thought that when you saw Black and Gold NXT Kevin Owens, and when he first came up, he was just that arrogant asshole. But Kevin Owens is surprisingly a good babyface as well if you let him be. And I think that's what it's going to be when he comes back as well, because he's if he comes back, because this was career-ending injury. I don't think if he comes back, you can make him a heel again.
No,
but
certainly
I think
not.
Kevin Owens is a better overall heel, but to end his career, he might be a better babyface. Has he spent more time as a face or heel?
I feel like he's been a heel much longer than he's been a face. Came in as a heel.
When did they start going with the face route?
Right,
Pandemic? Is that one?
No, because he was with he did some face stuff, right, with the Festival of Friendship a little bit, and then turned on Jericho. I mean, they were still kind of heels.
That's what you call it if you want to use it. Beware to use it, by the way, in front of people in the industry. But a tweener. The Festival of Friendship with Chris Jericho. If I can talk, Festival of Friendship, not Sherp or whatever. I fucking
friendship.
But Kevin Owens, yeah, you know it. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho were a tweener, oopsie doopsie group. But Kevin Owens after that was a heel again. Then when did he turn face? When was his full-on face?
When he in the pandemic, I know he took on Seth Rollins. Remember, he jumped off the ramp. He ran up it and did that.
Because that's when he started a 4-year feud with because he was a face for those 4 years, right? He with Rollins. Then he went
the whole bloodline feud started as a joke because he told Jay to go get, you're going to go get Roman's coffee. And he's like, what are you saying? You saying I'm not important? And he's like, I was just making a joke. I thought that was Paul Heyman's job. And then Roman was like, you're not going to take care of your business. And that's where it all came from. That was the catalyst, a cup of coffee. Gotta love the storytelling there. That's why so many people love the bloodline angle, because there's so many puzzle pieces that fit in, and you don't get the final picture till you include every puzzle piece.
So to think about it, main roster wise, if we're talking whole career, I think heel, because if you're counting NXT, but main roster wise, 2016, 2020, he was heel. 2020 to 20, near the end of 2024, he was face.
Yeah, and then he turned heel on Cody.
Yeah, so I think main roster wise, it's almost even.
It's close.
But if you're counting NXT, he spent majority heel, right?
Yeah, NXT he was all heel.
He came back up in to the main roster in 2015, right?
Yeah, in 15, so, and then he went back to NXT as a face to be in the War Games match and did stuff like that. Right. So, I mean, he works as both sides, but I just prefer Kevin Owens, the justified heel.
I agree. I think he has that CM Punk in him.
Absolutely.
He's better one way, but he can do both.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see him at times, and you're like, you're booing him, but then he gets on the mic and he speaks, and you're like, wait, I get it. I get why you're. I don't want to boo this guy.
Kevin Owens guy.
Absolutely. Way back in the days of Kevin Steen and El Generico. So better as a heel. We agree.
Yep, Kevin Steen is awesome.
Yeah.
Go check out his stuff if you haven't.
So now, Kiana James, Miss Bolt-On Tits, as I've said before. Yeah. She's very, very forgotten about, making my screen shake. They haven't done much with her. It just bounces. It sees her and it gets all excited. Yeah, my screen is going nuts. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what I mean by going off.
Yeah, look at that. It saw the bolt on, just couldn't get enough. No, Kiana, she's got a great look. She's very athletic.
Tell your computer to calm down.
It's overheating now, but she just hasn't done much of anything. Sadly,
fair.
They haven't done much with her.
I like her, but I hate to say this. I feel bad if you ever come across this. I'm sorry to say this. Blame the bookers that be. But for you, Skip. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer her as a heel. She works being that bitchy second in command, and she's doing a good job with Julia for what she's given.
Talent
but
more, though.
Yeah, it's just not enough, and it's not anything to really sink your teeth into. So prefer as a heel, but for now, skip. Lash Legend is the next one up on this list, the most recent addition to the SmackDown side of things. She's a very interesting case.
Started, or will I flip out again about War Games?
Yeah, right. I mean, her being involved with Nia is a terrible decision. Well, it's a terrible decision to invite Nia. That's for sure. See, it's freaking out even for her. My computer sees boobs and just losing it. But she's managed to develop a very strong following for her size at this point in time, and her fans are very impassioned and care about Lash Legend, and they want to see her get pushed, and they want to see her have a shot. So I'm intrigued to see her in War Games. I wish they added just her and Raquel and Roxanne. No, Nia. Sorry, Nia, but you were terrible in last year's War Games, and you got to learn how to swing a chair first, granted, but we've seen little from her overall. With the Metaphor, she was not really doing too much with Jakara, and they were a tag team for a bit, but she was there. She was ever present in NXT, but she was never a focal point at all. And it kind of feels the same way now. She's the friend of Nia. She's not the new deadly call-up.
Makes no sense, though.
So I prefer as a heel, but sadly at this point, skip.
I'm skipping her because I'm pissed that they just made illogical booking with the War Games, and they fucking left Raquel and Roxanne out, who was feuding with all those teams, mind you.
Yeah.
Just for them to have a random tag team. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not the video for it.
Motherfuckers.
Oh my god. I'm so...
Fire off some warning shots.
That's just gonna enrage me every fucking time I think about it.
Start the match. Shit. It's Cody versus the Bookers. Book it.
Please.
Lillian, we love you. Mark Nash,
Michael Cole, you can actually do, right?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Cole was one of the worst heel runs ever. I mean, him being a heel on commentary was bad.
By everyone. That video, I think, oh my god, I got so shit on. I actually kind of thought it was fun. Like, how bad it was supposed to be, I just found it entertaining.
Yeah.
It was bad, but I just fucking found it just how he was the Miz's cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
He would stand up, yeah, Miz, yeah.
I mean, look at his eyes in this one. He looks so drugged up at this point. He's been listening to Vince scream at him for 19 hours straight in a fever dream of cocaine and methamphetamines.
He's like, Tony Khan, what you got over there?
Yeah. But you think back to him first being backstage and being, verbally assaulted by The Rock. And he's been there for decades now and really has made a big impact. So Michael Cole is a much better face announcer.
And I think he doesn't care about I think he didn't mind being.
He enjoyed the heel run. He said he liked factors of it. It was just a matter of the Mania stuff he got a lot of shit for, and it kind of just continued on for far too long.
And I think he also said, I don't know if you agree or disagree with this, he thinks Jerry should have won the WWE Championship just for a little, even if it was one night against The Miz. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I have to go back and really recapture all the memories from it, but probably, yeah. With the way they did the belt and everything then.
Because he was feuding with The Miz, right? Jerry?
Yeah. Yes,
that's
indeed.
why Michael Cole became The Miz cheerleader, right? Because he was. Let's not go back to those actually. Yeah,
so Michael Cole, I prefer him as a face. It's that simple. I like
the
him.
Only thing that was good about that time was Punk and Cena.
Yeah, but Michael Cole has changed quite a bit, especially since Vince leaving. But he like the mixed match the Cruiserweight Classic with Bryan, he really sounded happy again. And since then, he kind of found passion for it, and he's been a top person.
Because, I know this is a different thing, but I think Pat McAfee only sounded the same because, Vince actually let Pat McAfee just do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, and Cole was able to play off of that at times, and they became very charismatic as a duo.
I think that's why Vince started letting Michael Cole do his own thing too, because it worked. And that's why you would hear "holy shit" from Pat McAfee, and Vince didn't really care what.
Yeah,
Pat McAfee could have dropped an F-bomb, and Vince would have just been like,
probably fucking not. I wouldn't doubt it. That's for damn sure. So we both agree, though, he's a better face, but he's been there through a lot. His heel work wasn't the worst. It just the match was what really sucked. But everything else, he's gotten better on commentary, and he gives us as much as he can. So I'll give him a face for it.
Yeah, face.
Now, face. Mia Yim. I hate the Meechin nickname. She was.
I flipped out about that.
She was okay on NXT when she was in the Cruiserweight Classic. That's how she got offered a job after losing that. And she was on the Black and Gold brand for a little bit, but she really didn't do that much. They called her the Blasian Baddie, and she was working with Baszler and Jessamine Duke, and she had like a big Muay Thai and Taekwondo background with striking and submission expertise. But yet, we really didn't see much from her. She got called up on Raw in the 2021 draft, and then she was the OC's Rhea Ripley's answer. Remember, the OC had to have some way to stop Rhea Ripley, so they brought her in. And then she got drafted to SmackDown, and she briefly feuded with Chelsea, and that was it. I prefer her as a face, but she's another one where unless you have a really good story, it's hard to get behind her because she's barely exposed. And when they do expose her, it's rather limited. So I feel like she's a better face, but we haven't gotten enough character work from her to tell.
I'm only going to skip because I don't know if there's, much to go off.
Sadly, that's the problem.
She needs to be executed more.
She was good against Chelsea as the face there, but overall it wasn't like this big ultimate movement or role for her. So unfortunately that was the case, but with Meechin, I say more of a face, but I agree with your Skip.
We already said talked Montez, right?
Yep. So Naomi now, who we didn't count with the Usos.
I'm gonna go quick here because I think this is the best character she probably has done.
Yes.
Her, the Proceed with Caution.
Yes.
So by default, that makes her a better heel. She was a Funkadactyl with what's that fucking guy's name?
Brodus Clay. Yeah.
Clay. You know what's funny? The last time I saw Brodus Clay, he was on Fox News debating that TikTok debater Harry Sisson.
Yeah, with the NWA title belt on the freaking on the desk.
I was laughing. I was just dying laughing seeing that. I don't know why I brought that up, but that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, he likes to battle with
never
Tyrus.
I would see those two debating.
Yeah, and what a debate it was. But yeah, that's the thing with Naomi. That was pretty much the most over she's been now. And the most intriguing. What did we get from her? Like you said, Funkadactyl, some pairings with Sasha, and then she left because she thought she was worth more than she was.
Wasn't that
she fought for herself
or whatever?
Something like that. That was with a few other people too.
Bad. Are you kidding me?
Well, they had Beautiful and Deadly, and then they had the Pretty Mean Sisters and Team Sorority, whatever, and that was a porn name, so they had to change that quick. Oops.
They knew it. Vince knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was thinking there. But yeah, with Naomi, she was so much more intriguing. The heel thing was working. Damn you getting pregnant. I would have said heel.
Heel.
We spoke about Nathan Frazier already with Fraxy. I love those two.
I can't stand Nia Jax has sucked most of her career, but until she came back recently, she's put on I can't. I'm gonna say this, huh? She's actually put on some bangers.
She's done far better in this return. She's gotten so much more, I don't want to say better overall in ring, but more believable. She's had some great matches, actually. She's been less of a risk and less of an issue. So her going ahead and being used in such a way, my biggest issue with her before was her carelessness, air quotes, you can't see me, but it was basically she was injuring people all the time. My hole! And then she was just injuring people and having all of these terrible outings. It was upsetting to see, so often that we were getting this monster really hurt our favorites. and ruin up dream matches. At that point, we wanted Becky and Ronda to face each other. Now we lost it because she had to go ahead and punch Becky in the face. You know, things like that. So it was hard to get behind her realistically, even as a heel, and enjoy it because there was all this real world negativity. Since she's come back, she's been, I would say, more cautious or professional in the ring. It makes me prefer her as a heel overall, though she's still not one of my favorites, honestly. But I'll say heel. For her.
Paul Heyman, right? Because we got
Wyatt, right? Paul Heyman is I don't think there's any way to say anything but heel. He's an amazing storyteller, announcer, manager. Yeah, all there is to it.
If we ever got a babyface Paul Heyman, I would say WWE has lost it for sure. Like Paul Heyman should never be a babyface ever. Oh my God. That would be the dumbest. Has he ever been a face? Like they've tried it here and there.
Not
right? Like,
really. I mean, even with him with Punk recently, when he was coming out with him, like he didn't really come out with him much. Like he would just came out with him to Mania, but he was still the heel because he turned on both of them and fucked over Roman as well. Yeah,
Paul Heyman is just a natural heel. Arguably the best manager ever.
Yeah.
I know you got Paul Bear. You got some other ones. Bobby
the Brain, always comes up. I mean, but yeah, I much prefer Paul Heyman as a heel, no doubt about it. I mean, he's had 100%. A few minute little face things here and there where he's cut some memories or promos, but he is the ultimate heel. He is one of the best talkers and promo artists, and I do say artist because it is an art with him, and heel all the way.
Heel.
Yeah. Then we've got an interesting case with Piper Niven, the former Dewdrop. This is kind of an odd thing because she was a fucking force to be reckoned with, as it says. That even says that in her bio. So before I even read that, that's literally the words I was going to say. A force to be reckoned with in NXT UK. Because Piper Niven was a fucking monster in NXT UK. She was fucking everybody up and she was great. And then she was Eva Marie's protege. All right. And then, she's Dewdrop now. And they put her in matches like the Chamber and whatnot. But then she teams with Nikki ASH, Nikki Cross. And that was it. I mean, now we got her as the Secret Harvest security. She's out injured at this time. So we're wishing her well and hoping the best for her. But I guess I would say heel with what she's doing now, but I don't feel like the face version of her ever worked. And more or less, we've pretty much only gotten a heel version of her.
I think she's a heel. Yeah.
By default, indeed. Now, R-Truth.
Easy. Actually, there was a 2011 run. Like I enjoyed that heel run and with the Awesome Truth. But
they cut it short. They fucked it up. They had him. I was there when he lit the cigarette and was blowing it at Cena's face. You know, that led to the match they had at Capital Punishment.
He's only been a heel for like a few months, I think.
Yeah, altogether. Then they let him go. He gets released. People freak out. He gets himself back. He shaves his head. He's going to be Ron Killings, and then
everyone loves
R-Truth. Yeah,
everyone loves R-Truth. At the end of the day,
he's a great character. He's funny. He's enjoyable.
I think it's fine though. Like at this stage of his career, like this is R-Truth. He's oblivious to reality. So, and it's fun. It's fun watching R-Truth that way. But I hate how they killed the Ron Killings gimmick. But overall, better face.
This sounds terrible. I wish they did just let him go and they didn't let the outcry bring him back. I mean, maybe it's good for his paycheck.
We got his job back, but I don't. I enjoyed the.
I'm glad he got his job back, but I feel like he could have done so much more, getting paid to the indie scenes as Ron Killings and finally being this badass.
With SmackDown being in the, I honestly rather have him on television because he'll make something funny.
I was really looking forward to seeing what he was going to do as a heel. I mean, I prefer him as a face, no doubt, but we didn't get to see it for what they got on TNA when he was the Truth Killings. And he was so charismatic and enigmatic there that I need a thesaurus to say more good words.
If Ron Killings turned heel, it just makes sense because Cena was a heel. So, like, he follows just the footsteps of what Cena does.
Yes. Absolutely. And
he didn't always have to be a wise. He could have still been
Everything in him was always like rip roaring fun. You laughed. There are so many R-Truth. Like I have a hard time remembering things until somebody brings it up. That's how my brain is with memories. And it's like, oh, I remember this. And then I can jump down the rabbit hole of memory lane. But with R-Truth, there's so many, like him declaring for the Rumble, you know, when it wasn't the Rumble and then going up, oh, I'm going against. Yeah, he even made Lesnar laugh. Like, there's so many times where he's done these amazing spots.
I think
these
anytime,
moments.
like Judgment Day, for sure, he's made everyone crack because, like, he's made Dominic, Finn, Damian, Rhea, and when last year with Thanksgiving, he said Thanksgiving's off. Finn, Dominic, and Liv started laughing. You could see it. Like,
they couldn't stop and hold it together. So he's one that
like he can make you break character.
Yeah, he's anything but boring. He's like I said, it's a rip roaring good time, and he's a damn good babyface.
Yep.
Now, sir,
Randy Orton. I think this is actually easier than some people think. I do enjoy his later years, like him being a good guy, and he does good at it. But 09 Orton, that man is a menace to society, and no one can stop that bastard. So I think Randy Orton is honestly a way better heel than he is a face.
I mean, the son of Cowboy Bob Orton, the uncle Barry Orton, and his grandfather, the late Big O, Bob Orton Sr., fierce, rugged grapplers of their generation. He left nothing behind. He managed to take every bit that he could with him and deliver this intriguing and overall excellent character. He really gave us a lot to enjoy, and I can't say it enough, but I truly appreciate what we get with him, and I'm hoping that we get to see more of Face Randy. So this is the thing. I've really enjoyed his turnaround with RK Bro and then everything else going forward. I
think he'll just always be a heel to me.
Oh yeah, I still see him as a heel, but it was so exciting and like this rousing effort to see him be dragged, kicking and screaming from heeldom into facedom, and all of the different moments that led to him. You know, he was lighting the Fiend on fire.
Completely different characters, but they kind of reminded me of like Team Hell Net, where like Kane you always saw as like some demon, but Daniel Bryan got the comedic side out of Kane.
Yes,
and like Matt Riddle got a comedic side out of Randy Orton, which is rare to see.
Absolutely. So that's where a lot of the fun comes from. He's always delivering, you know, something exciting. You know, the meme of Into Somewhere is there for a reason. And I would say he is one of the ultimate heels, no doubt about it.
Because it's RKO Into Somewhere.
I mean, it is. And he managed to terrorize people, like you said, you know, and when you saw Triple H break into his house for revenge, I mean, all the stuff that it led to, so many great classic moments. All in all, he's a better heel.
Rey Fenix is easy.
Yeah.
I don't think you can even... Penta, has he ever been a heel?
Yeah, he has briefly, but not in WWE. I mean, he just debuted...
Yeah, so...
not that many months back.
WWE list, so fair.
Yes. So
Rey Fenix, so by default, he's a face and is a better face.
Yeah, he's a great luchador.
And luchadors are always better faces, unless you call Dominic a luchador.
Not really. I mean, if he was wearing a mask full time, maybe he can be the king of the luchadors.
He says he's the greatest.
Yeah, it's more of a gimmick, but Rey Fenix definitely a face. He's one that we haven't had that much from.
Luchadors are always better faces.
Yeah, going previous, I mean, yeah, he's done some heel work, but nothing as fleshed out like his brother doing, you know, the dark version of Penta and all these things. So the face moniker for these two is going to be stronger with them as a tag team, being the Lucha Bros. They're going to sell the mask. Kids love it. Adults love it. Because they're amazing in the ring and they're exciting and they have that superhero kind of feel to them. He's a damn good face. I agree with you 100%. Now, the big dog, Roman Reigns. This is simple. I think
Uh,
people look too
yeah,
far into
this is
this.
simple as well. I know this is going to be crazy. You're going to go into depth on Roman Reigns. There's no need to, because Roman Reigns as a babyface originally was shoved down the throats of everybody, and everybody said, promise you, if you turn him heel, he's going to be the biggest megastar ever, which will theoretically make him into a greater babyface. Hence, that's what we say about like people like, again, Dominic Mysterio for today's generation. Yeah,
Absolutely.
make him a mega heel. He's going to be an ultimate babyface. So this is what happened with Roman Reigns. He made an incredible heel run as the tribal chief for 4+ years, over 1,000 days with the championship. And now he's a popular face by default. And can you even argue that? I don't even think he's a face still in my mind. I still think
No,
he's a
he's
heel
still a heel.
personally.
And
But
yeah, he was never not a heel. He never turned face. He just got
he's a
cheered. But
heel, but feuds with heels. Like he has his actions for the right
yes,
reason.
his momentum is not shifted at all. He's still up in the top of the top
But
for
he
a
goes
damn
after
good
the
reason.
other villains.
Yeah. And it's
Just goes
all
after villains
because of
now.
his ego and
Yeah.
what he needs to achieve. So
So
he
took
is
down all the heroes, and he doesn't like the villains either, because villains can't be near me. So now he's after the villains.
he wasn't inspiring on the mic. He wasn't motivating. He was like he just felt as a face, like I want to say more than just a facade, but like a real like a let's see here, like an industry plant. You know, like you said before, it was everything about it was just a front. Aspects of him kind of worked, but most of it just seemed like an appearance, a front, this type of show. And yes, they're all portraying somebody, but he didn't believe the material. And it just didn't come across with him ever being thrilling as a babyface. Like he's so interesting and must see as a heel. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So Roman has proven with the last decade that him as a heel is money and him as a babyface, not so much. You look at the difference between manias. I mean, look at how many manias he's main evented or been a part of. 31. No one wanted to see him win. The only reason that went well is because of the cash-in. You know, 32, Triple H, no one cared about that. 33 with Taker, that was hated. 34 with Lesnar, he didn't win, that was awful. 35, he went ahead and took a break because of all this shit. Right? Or no, 35, he faced Drew McIntyre. 36, he took the year off because of the pandemic. Then 37, 38, 39, and 40, he was the champ in the main event, sometimes both nights, you know, and he double wrestled and whatnot. He was involved in the majority of main events, yet no one remembers or cares about anything when he wasn't the tribal chief. He's a better heel, and that's all there is to it.
100%.
I'll fight you on that one, folks. I will. I tell you what. Sami Zayn. I'm tired of Sami Zayn lately, and the Sami Zayn we got on SmackDown is the better version of Sami, but it's played out. It's been done to death. Him doing the underdog.
I might be better on Raw right now.
He might be.
Back in the
him doing the
vortex,
just rinse and repeat. You got to do the MFT stuff all over again. You've been there. You've done that. You fought all these guys already. You made your point. Why are you even continuing this? It really just feels like you're just treading water until something else happens. So
here's for me again with Sami Zayn. I think the best version of him, what made him into a top star now, is like the bloodline and the honorary use. So I think everyone likes Sami. So by default, I think he is a better babyface, but he did play good as a heel as well.
But see, he was in the heel group, but he really didn't do much as a heel. He just kind of was.
He was in the heel group, but he almost made the heel group babyface.
Yes, exactly. So him having that element added to the entire motif and
I guess
aspect
that just makes
of the bloodline. Yeah,
a better overall babyface.
Now, Nakamura is an interesting case because I prefer him as a heel. He makes a good face. Like I think about initially with him coming in and, doing the Michael Jackson-esque type of entrance, really getting in there. the fans loved his theme, but that's kind of all they loved about him at that point was singing his entrance, and then the bell would ring, and we'd kind of lose that substance. So him as a heel, he was more meticulous and plotting and a bit more sharp, and he had an edge to him. He really did. He would do nasty things in the match and the mist and all this stuff. So I feel like he was more compelling as a heel, whereas a face, he was just coming out there to be cheered like he is now. So I prefer Nakamura as a heel, but there's only subtle differences.
With the face, like they just do the sing along like Seth Rollins, but like overall, I think he fits better as a heel.
Absolutely, my friend. The Miz.
So, the Miz.
Yeah.
Miz has always had failed attempts, I think, as being a good guy. The Miz is just a natural asshole.
Yeah. When I think back to like some of his best, again, to me, him and his wife.
People think Miz sucks in the ring. I don't understand that take, because when he wants to go, he's proven he can go.
Absolutely. And it depends on who he's working with. But look at the match we got this week. He had an excellent outing.
Jey Uso. Whoever thought the Miz would bring Jey Uso to a good match?
Right.
It took the Miz out of all.
The Miz gets the Randy Orton treatment at times too. Oh, he wrestles safe and he's very formulaic. But that's what's kept him healthy and relevant for all these goddamn years. And he's been able to be a face of the company for like media appearances and all that, while even still being a heel. Him and his wife doing
he has the charisma and everything.
Yeah.
That's why Vince liked him so much.
When they did the John Cena parodies with him and Maurice, where they took on Nikki and John and all the house rules and making fun of Total Divas and Total Bellas, and that was so great, because seeing him in that era where he's
overhated.
Yes, I think he is overhated, and I think people never really gave him the flowers that he truly deserved. But I do see some of the complaints. So I still prefer him as a heel. He can work as a face, we know that, but the man is a heel out and out. The look, the attitude, everything just screams heel.
Yeah.
Gotta be. I mean, that's really what we end up coming down to with The Miz. He could be at your celebrity golf tournament this week, but come Friday, he's going to be a bastard on SmackDown. So
I think this is the last one here, right? Because
Tiffany Stratton.
Everyone else.
Yes, indeed. So Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany, you got the last.
We've got two more past this for non-signings, and then we are officially done with the Raw, SmackDown, and unassigned roster.
This
Tiffany,
one's easy for me.
Yes.
Tiffany, and better never ever say babyface. I can keep this short, simple, sweet. She has the attitude, like just like Daddy's little rich girl kind of character.
Yeah.
She is
My Ram is ramming it. Look at that. It's freaking out on her.
You know it.
Goddamn machine. Yeah, with Tiffany, she's a heel. That's all there is to it. I mean, she's a great heel. And what has she done since getting the title and now losing it? But she was still a heel. Even though she was portrayed as a babyface, she was still acting like a heel for most of it. She was the bad girl, and it's Tiffy's time. So she was great in NXT. Daddy's girl. She had a very simple character that could have become extremely obnoxious and gone the opposite with fans. But yet she delivers it in such a unique way that it is interesting. It is like very rousing and animated and lively. No, it's not this like hair-raising act where you're like, oh, I can't. But she does command your attention as a heel. She makes you care. It's more dramatic, it's more intense, it's more gripping with her, all of it. So if I believe in Cody Onidi, I also believe in heel Tiffany Stratton.
Damn right.
I know you for the most part agree there, but she has to be a heel. I mean, that's what it comes down to here. And, it's just, it's too good to be true. She makes a great...
Brock Lesnar and Omos.
She makes a great heel. So we got Brock Lesnar and Omos. We'll touch on Omos first. That's the quicker of the two. He's a giant.
I don't think there's much to say about Omos.
No.
Giant. Like a
big man.
A giant's better, usually are better as heels, I think.
Yeah. 7'3" and can't wrestle. But no, apparently he's made improvements in Noah. I'd like to see what he could do. He took on Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins. We've seen some good feuds with him. Nothing great.
Seth Rollins and him actually had a good match.
Yeah, I could picture him being like an Andre type level where everybody loves the Giant, but I could also see him being a menace like a Great Khali or Big Show. So I think everybody would think and prefer him as a heel. I think he could make a great face that people could get behind, but it would be tricky. But I would definitely say heel with him.
I agree.
You know, a lot of the ones we picked heel here, but some of the heels too also work really well as faces at times. This is just who we prefer, but the last but not least, Mr. Lesnar, someone that I've been very vocal about not liking for a long time because he was so just an issue. You know, we get out there, we get the same matches of Suplex City, Germans, F5, pin, repeat, and you know, we would kind of get this like, oh, the babyface gets a quick minute where it kind of looks like Lesnar's going to get his ass beat. And then, nope, F5, it's over. It became very, very formulaic, very boring. And he just kind of steamrolled through everything. The way he beat Cena was ridiculous. I've never cared for his booking. And I've always felt like he was not deserving of the spot that he was in. Regardless, though, he makes a better heel. People like to cheer him as a badass. People want to see him just be like King Kong and go out and destroy the city. They want to see him wreck shop.
I agree. Brock Lesnar is a way better heel. I think like he is a good protagonist for a babyface because he's like that unstoppable beast that can't be conquered, and then you have to have that super hero like Cody Rhodes, which I don't really find believable in real life that Cody Rhodes can beat Brock Lesnar in a fight. But
you never know.
It's wrestling.
I mean, it is wrestling, and that's the thing too. Lesnar's very strong, but then he slows down after a few minutes. So if you can keep yourself going for just a little bit, maybe you'll be able to take him down. But a lot of times they don't tell that full fleshed out story. It's just a finisher spam fair. So with him, I'll say face, but all in all, I think he's no, I'm kidding. I'm say heel, but all in all, I think he'll always make a better heel. And I just feel like the monster, Brock Lesnar, he just suits that heel role very well.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we went ahead and covered everybody that we've talked about so far on Raw, Free Agents, and SmackDown. We've still got the NXT roster to go through maybe, but we've got more podcasts coming to you, folks. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on the bell, hit those notifications, as well as hit the like button. Not only does it help us out a ton, and we appreciate it greatly, but this way you'll be notified when we go live or put out more content. Because this week we've got a jam-packed schedule. We've got Raw and SmackDown and NXT reviews. We've got a preview for AEW Full Gear with predictions galore. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, so you want to make sure that you're tuned into the channel. But, Cody, thank you so much for breaking down the SmackDown roster with me today. Please let these lovely people know where they could find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube. Yes, I promise I'll be posting gaming content soon. No, it's not a shtick, but we'll get that soon, especially considering I'm getting a PC and monitor soon.
Yeah.
So that should all be situated.
I got your podcast in a can, ready to go.
Hell yeah. You get it. And I got all that other equipment Jake's giving me, like the laptop and all that, etc.
Yeah,
so
we got webcams and all sorts of stuff. So we're building you up.
And Instagram, Cody_Onidi_316.
Absolutely. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Rumble at Countdown Ended. Go ahead and check us out on TikTok. It's Jake.CountdownEnded. And check us out on Spotify using the hashtag Into Somewhere. We appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope you all have a great day, and we will see you soon for more content. Until then, stay sexy and have a great day.
They've got the heat!